some good news on Mark Dolan tonight. So not only is a potential deal in the offing with the RMT to end those dreadful rail strikes, a deal with nurses as well. Well, I'm bringing you now news of a developing story that's just in. You'll get more in the bulletin at 9. But it seems that a deal could be in the offing with junior doctors as well, which would mean no further industrial action within the whole of the NHS. So a deal for nurses, a deal for ambulance drivers, and a deal for junior doctors. That is what we're hearing. Of course, these various pay deals will have to be voted on by their respective unions. But it seems the government is making progress in negotiating with various departments within the NHS, the ambulance drivers, the nurses and junior doctors. So there you go. Good news on a Friday. Let me tell you now that a middle-aged version of Love Island is coming. That's probably bad news, let's be honest. But first, the journalist Flick Everett, who wrote for some of the most popular men's magazines in the 1990s, including FHM, has said, "I thought the lads' mags I worked for were harmless fun. Now I fear that they led to a generation of toxic misogynists and women haters." So are men's magazines toxic and dangerous, or a bit of harmless fun? And in this increasingly politically correct world, is it time to let boys be boys? Who better to ask than Channel 4 star Kim Woodburn? Hi, Kim.
Hello, gorgeous. How are you?
Oh, great, and glad to be called gorgeous on my birthday. Kim, what do you think about this? Because there's one argument, which is that these lads' mags are an opportunity for men to have some fun and look at pictures of beautiful women. Others would argue that they cast women as sex objects and are therefore very dangerous.
It's a load of tripe. Look, if a man wants to look at a magazine or a woman, some women read them, you know. There's no harm. You have choices. No one forces you to read or look at anything. And if people want, it's not just men, you know. There are many women look at mucky magazines, dear. Look, it's not harming anybody. They're the right age. Why does it matter? You have choices. You can buy them. If you as a newspaper, something you don't like, then don't buy the newspaper. Boys will be boys, but girls will be girls. Let's just not blame the men.
Do you think that our society, Kim, do you think that our society is getting increasingly hard on men?
Increasingly what, dear?
It's getting hard on men.
Well, I think it is. Look, I'm going to say it. Men haven't changed since the world began. They haven't changed, Lovey. I mean, they are lustful beasts, which I think is wonderful, may I tell you. Now, on a serious note, a man's a man, a woman's a woman. Don't leave a woman out. There are many married couples buy mucky magazines and read them together. Let's stop blaming the men. Please, let's stop doing this.
And what do you think of macho men? What do you think of macho men? Because they seem to be quite criticised these days, that if a guy, I don't know, is a bit of a womanizer and a bit of a drinker, a bit of a playboy, he's described as toxic.
Look, you know my thoughts. If a man is single, because I'm a great one for when you're married, you stay true to your spouse. I'm old-fashioned. If a man is single, let him do what the heck he likes. Let him do what he wants. He's a man, dear. He's a man. What are we trying to do? What's happening to us? You know, we go on about, you know what? A man is, I love men, my dear, I'm being honest with you. And we women are so down on the men, we've stopped the men being gentlemen anymore. You know, the other day I was out and a young man opened a door for me and I said, "Thank you so much." He said, "You're welcome." It was lovely. We're doing ourselves harm. A man's a man. Would you want him any other way, dear? What do you want, a sissy? What do you want, a sissy? A man's
Never.
a man. No, come along now. I mean... Oh, I don't know. Do you know, I'm frustrated by all this because, you know, women are feminine. Some of the women I've met are like big men, I'm being honest with you. But let a man be a man, let a woman be a woman. And when they get together and make sweet music, oh, it's wonderful, dear. What are we doing to ourselves?
I know. They make sweet music. Spare me the details. It's a family show. Now, Kim, can I ask you whether you would ever pose for one of these lads' mags? You're a beautiful woman. Would you bear all for a few quid?
I've never bared all, I must be honest. I've been asked when I was younger, but I can honestly say I didn't do it. Because in my day, it was, oh God, women didn't flash their whatsits, dear. I mean, you would be regarded as a woman of ill repute. But, I mean, I'm 80, you know, what would I? But now, you know, if you're a young woman, you've got a lovely body or something, you know, why not, my love? Been there, done that. But what's wrong with seeing a woman that's nude or a man that's nude? Come on, we are curious people. I can honestly say this to you. I wouldn't personally go myself and buy a book with nudes in it because I don't feel the need to, I'll be honest with you. But if I did feel the need to, what is wrong with that? I mean, I remember on a shoot once, and I've got to be honest, one of our runners came and said to Aggie and I, you know that man whose house you're doing? We find a right mucky book. I said, oh, go and get it, go and get it. Now, you know, he brought it out, and I said, leave it. And Ag and I were in that trailer. Now, we're not looking for, but we're human beings, lovey. Stop this nonsense. We opened the book. Oh, dear God. I mean, it, you know, and we read the whole flipping book. God, I was sweating buckets, dear. Sweating buckets I was. I'm a human being. And if you will tell me, all you people that pretend you don't, that if you found a book of that content and you were on your own, you wouldn't open it, you're a liar. We're curious. We like looking at bodies. I wouldn't go out of my way. It's in front of me. I'm not going to miss it, dear. I'm a human being. I'm not a robot. Stop being such phonies.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You say that you've never bared all for a magazine. Well, I've got you penciled in for Miss January on the GBNews calendar. Nigel Farage is December, Eamon Holmes, February.
Well, how much do you want me to show, dear? How much am I being asked to show?
It's GBNews. We want everything. Kim, can I ask you a couple of other things? First of all, you mentioned, I mean, you look amazing for the 8-0. What is your view? What is your view of? Well, that's it. It's all. Look, it's everything. You're a double threat. You've got the brains and you've got the looks to pull it off, Kim. What do you make?
I am a very passionate woman, dear, given the right circumstances.
Or any circumstances.
And I say to myself, you are a gorgeous man. And you are very masculine. You're the type of man that makes a woman feel feminine. And if circumstances were different, you and I could have sweet music, dear. No, well, I believe that.
Those circumstances can be made different. Here's the wedding ring. Let me chuck it off right now. I'm going to use a hacksaw. Kim, before you go, we're going to be talking about this.
Your glasses up, dear, by Jove. But don't tell the wife.
Kim, before we go, we're going to be talking.
Nonsense. You know, girls aren't forced to pose, lovely, are they? They're not forced to pose.
That's Eamon Holmes.
Photos are beautiful. I just watched Love Island with the youngsters, and come on, you know they're there. They've got gorgeous bodies. The boys have all worked out to go on the show. You, they're lovely boys. And I'm not being funny. But as an older woman, I don't mind looking at a bit of flesh that's lovely. And if you're a woman that says, or a man, oh, it doesn't bother me. Oh, don't be so silly. Come on, we got here through. Oh, please. You know what? I don't want to. It is watershed. But the point is, stop all this nonsense. If you don't want to look at newspapers that have girls half naked, don't buy the newspaper. We've got just choices. If you don't want to watch naughty shows on television, then don't put the channel on. There are many more. You are supplied with channels to please everybody. Stop. Well, this is this lady that worked for 5 years. She was a freelance, and she goes on about, she's regretting it now. Do you know, these people make me sick. For 5 years, if I was doing something I didn't want to do, would it take me 5 years to find out? Now, come along. If it's distasteful, it took her 5 years. What a load of nonsense.
There you go. More truth bombs from the Queen of Clean. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I wish I could sip a Guinness with you tonight. We would have so much fun. Big love to your hubby as well, who I know is an ever-present figure, including appearing briefly on the interview earlier in our chat. The wonderful Kim Woodburn, folks. Thank you, Kim. Lots to come. God, I tell you, I mean, that is the ultimate birthday gift. I do hope Mrs. Dolan wasn't watching. I'm in a world of trouble. Don't worry, the ring is still on.